Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and I'm here on Monday, February 14th, 2022. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm here with my weekly cross-stitching update so we can share our mutual love of cross-stitch together. And I have a lot of things to share. So let's get going. First, I have some stash acquisitions. I have an entire yard of mushroom Lugana. This is 28 count. I bought this for the seasonal montages by Pain Free Crafts. It came too late to start the first one, but I have, enough here for 4, so I can start the other 3 on this. The problem was when Colette, the highway stitcher, was starting hers, she started hers on 25 count mushroom Lugana, and according to the picture that she showed me, I believe it, that her stitches were completely blending in. I'm still kind of tempted to try it. Try doing spring, summer, and fall on this. I'm gonna try with spring because it looks like the winter ones. I'll show you if you don't know what I'm talking about. It looked like this winter montage had a lot of beige background, like here and down here, and the border has those light beiges in it too. And that's what she had tried that was blending in. So this whole section would be kind of obnoxious maybe on the mushroom. But it seemed like the other montages were a little bit, had more foreground items than background items. So let me see, this is summer, so this is not the next one I'll start. But see, there's a lot of greens and pinks and yellows, and there's still some beiges, like background to here and in here, but I'm tempted to try it. So I think what I'll do, the next one I'm gonna work on, where is it? Oh, here it is. It's spring. So this one, I mean, again, there's some of these background bits. There's a good amount up here, I suppose, but some of it is darker, so I don't know. Smokey is in here. She thinks she wants to leave, but she knows she wants to be in here with me. So I'm thinking I will try a few stitches on mushroom when I go to start this in March. And if I feel like it's not gonna work for me, then I'll just switch to white at that point. But I hate to have this whole yard go to waste. And some of my other full coverages that I want to start soonish, I either want to do half stitches, which I feel like Lugana is a little bit too loose of a weave for half stitches. I tried it already on some ivory Lugana with one of my pieces, and I restarted it because I just didn't like it. So I have some half stitch ones I want to do either on 28 count Monaco or 40 count even weave. So I don't want to do a lot of them full crosses. So these I'm going to do full crosses. So I feel like I want to try this at least and give it a whirl. So that's my thing. Hey, Smokey. You gonna come say hi? Oh, you're gonna go over there? Okay, so I also wanted to give a shout out to Sarah King over at Our Stitching Kingdom here on Flosstube. She is one of the founding members of the Under 100 Subs Club, I guess, that had been started a while back to try to get people who are chronically under 1,000 subscribers up over that mark, because YouTube will give a few more helpful features to when you've reached the 500 and then the 1,000 mark. So she still hasn't made it yet, and her birthday is on the 24th, I believe, of February. So in 10 days, I guess, from now, next Thursday. So I would like to help her get up over 1,000 subscribers. So if you are interested in finding someone new to watch, go check her out and subscribe sometime before now on the 24th, because it'd be fun for her to reach that milestone by her birthday. And she likes mirabilias. She's doing quite a few. I'm going to show one today. So if you're here watching me, as I have some mirabilia stuff going as well. So if you like that, head over there and see some of hers. She's working on Lady of the Flag right now. Is nearing the end, which is really fun to see. Pretty much everything I've finished on mine is what she has left. She's finished all of the rest of it. And she was working on the Valentine's Fairy by Nora Corbett, which I didn't even really know existed until I saw that. And then I think she's starting a mermaid for her birthday. So if you like that sort of thing, head over there and check it out. And that'll be fun to help her get to that milestone by her birthday. So, yay! Quick smoky check. She's over here hanging out by my stuff. Gonna take a little nap while we share cross stitch stuff. So, start with my travel stitching like I do. I have been working on my temperature pieces first and foremost, just a little bit here and there. So I'm working on the Wander With Me cat paws version, which is a companion piece to Walk With Me, if I can separate the pages, which is a dog paws version that I have in my Etsy shop. So I got one more paw done yesterday and the beginning of the Super Bowl. And this is 27 count Linda in Vintage Country Mocha, 1/1 full crosses. And making my way along the path. There's this one. We're getting a warm spell. The lightest green kind of blends in a little bit with the Vintage Country Mocha, but I think when we have more of them, it'll be a little more obvious. So this next paw, I think there's a high of 85 in February, which is even for here is a little high for, I forget what the words I was going to say, seasonally abnormal, I guess, but it's been nice. Can go out, and I painted my toenails this weekend because it's just pretty outside. And my other one is Temperature Butterflies, which is in my pretty butterfly bag that was made for me by Quiltin X Stitch. I believe she's on Instagram. And this is the cover page for that one. And I'm working on the February butterfly, and I'm stitching this retroactively for the year 2002, which is the year we got married. So this is where I got to. This is on 32 count. Mystery Gray Green Even Weave. I'm doing it 1/1 full crosses. So it's really tiny. And I got 2 more lengths of gray, I think 2, so this butterfly is almost done, just the top of this wing now. And then I can start filling it in. So that'll be fun. I worked on this a little bit while I was watching some Olympic figure skating with my daughter. We didn't get to it a whole lot, but a little bit. I think a couple days. And she's able to go back to school now. If you remember from previous videos, I had COVID a couple weeks ago, and then all my kids got it too. So 2 of my kids have gone back to school today for the first time in a while. So now I'll be able to do my travel stitching in the ballet line again, which is nice. But I won't get to watch Olympics with my daughter, so I might just have to watch some of the ice skating by myself to get caught up with that, which means I'll probably not get so much temperature butterfly time in, but that's okay. So my regular travel piece is the Year in Stitches Stitch Along by the Victoria Sampler. This was a Facebook Stitch Along from last year, and they're now doing a new Stitch Along, so they've taken down this one, but you can buy them piece by piece in their Etsy shop in the Creative Designs section. And I didn't check before I filmed, but if January was released mid-January, so it's possible February is out now. I'll go check. And at the very least, I have part 1 linked below, but if part 2 is there, I'll link possibly just the whole Creative Designs section so that I don't have to keep changing the link, but these will be in that section because you pick your own colors, and it's a little bit different in that respect. I did a little bit on this, again, not that much because I haven't been doing ballet pickups this week, but I got most of the white finished. This is on 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, mostly 2/2. Specialty stitches are usually with 1 strand. There will be a few 1/1 sections, but neither of these months have any of that. So I got just a little bit of white down here, and then there's some eyelets in the middle of this and some like Smyrna crosses up here. And then the rest of it is just all the colors. Cross stitches and back stitching to get all the ice skaters and the trees filled in. So now that I'm going back to ballet stitching, I'll have a decent chunk again to work on this. I'm kind of optimistic that I could finish this week, since most of the white's done, and that's like the biggest chunk of that one. So because of that, I'm going to show you my starting point on the Prim Stitch series number 12, in the hopes that maybe I can get to that a little bit this week as well. So this is Prim Stitch series number 12. This is by the Fat Quarter Shop, Lori Holt, Be in My Bonnet. This one's called Hands and Heart to God. I'm trying to read it backwards. There are 12 of these. And I have the other 12 already done. I'll show those in a little bit whenever I finish this one, just because then it'll be nice to go through and kind of show and tell. I'm planning to stitch these together in like a doll quilt, stuffed animal quilt for my daughter. So that's the plan. Here is my starting point on this one. So I got the hand in the middle done. I am playing around with specialty stitches. These are charted with all cross stitches, and they have a DMC conversion and RE floss on the back. I'm using the RE floss, which was gifted to me, and I am throwing in random specialty stitches here and there. So this heart is kind of specialty stitchy, and this has got like a rose diamond up here. So I have just the flowers left, it looks like. I'm not doing the borders on any of these because I'm putting them into a quilt. I figured that wasn't necessary. So just got the flowers left. So I won't get this finished this week, but I'm hoping I can maybe bring it out and, you know, get started on it this week once I finish the February block on my year-end stitches. That would be nice. So my Mill Hill Monday piece that I worked on last week is Hummingbird, and this will be hopefully pulled out again today for a little bit more. I believe I wrote down I got 3 lengths of floss done, and I worked in this corner, all this light pale green that practically matches the perforated paper. That's what I worked on. But it's gotta get done. So here's mine, and slowly but surely chipping away at this, and I worked in here filling all that in. There's more down here, but maybe I can get that all finished today, and depending on how long it takes me, I can come over here and work some more over here too, but we'll see. Kind of depends on the day and how things are going. I heard on Calico Whimsy's latest Flosstube that her and Cat Talks are going to do a Mill Hill event in March for like spring Mill Hill. I don't actually remember the hashtags. You could go over to their Flosstubes and figure that out. This is springy, but potentially if I could, whenever I finish this one, it's getting close, but I mean, because I'm only working on it a little bit every Monday, I may still be working on this throughout the month of March, but potentially if I finish this, I have a couple other ones that are springy. So it'd be fun to be able to maybe start the next one in the month of March while they're doing their spring Mill Hill event. That could be fun. So, but we'll see. I'm not in any rush with these, so just whenever they get done, it's fine. And I guess I can also do my Knitting Woman right now, because that one's one I work on regularly as well. I put in a bunch of, this is my folder that I have all of my patterns in that are in Pattern Keeper so that I can show you the cover pages easily. And I had some that I'd bought but not filed, and I put them all in today. So now there's more in here than usual, and they don't just fall open to the place for the regular ones that I show a lot. So it's okay. This is Golden Kite Knitting Woman, and it's got lots of blends. I'm working on it for my mom. Hopefully finish this by November of this year. So I'm working on it every Wednesday through Sunday for at least 50 stitches, but I think going forward I want to, I don't know. I still am working on that, but I have generally over 100 every time I work on it, because if I am not working on it Monday and Tuesday, then I need to up my game the rest of the days. So one day this week I worked on it for 59 stitches, but all the rest were over 100, and even Saturday was almost 300 because I had a really long blend on my needle, because when there's a blended thread, sometimes I'll cut it in half and have like a regular length thread with the 2 different colors in it. But this time I'm like, I know there's a lot of this color, I'm gonna just do the full length. And so it was like 4 feet long. It took a little while to finish that one, but I went ahead and finished it. It was a Saturday, so I had time. So that helps when I get a little bump in the numbers every once in a while. So it was a pale color though. So again, there's some of the shirt colors that are pale pink or pale gray, pale beige. They're harder to see, but I did put in quite a few stitches this week. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 700 potentially. This is 22 count Aida 2/1 half stitches, and you can see some more in her shirt, in the mom's shirt, as well as her red dress. There's some, bits in here that have been filled in as well, and down in here, but then lots of shirt, some up over here. Some down here was done last time. A little bit more along the edge of the cap, but not a lot. So little bits here and there. It's making its way. So I am doing, and I do hope to do a Stitch With Me video as soon as I can to demonstrate what I call typewriter method, because I've had a few questions about that recently, and I've never actually done a video on just that method to explain it and to be able to send people to if they have questions. So it's really basically picking a symbol. It's my method for picking a symbol. So I'll pick a symbol top to bottom, left to right, across the whole width of the pattern. So for example, I had some stitches in this tip of the tail, so I'd pick a stitch, whatever symbol was there, and even if there's only one color here, I would finish my string wherever it appeared in the design. Then I'd go back top to bottom, left to right, which ended up, hitting some of these strap colors, So then I would do that and go to the next one. There was some in the hand, I'd do that. And then when I got to the end, I'd go back to the beginning. And actually this is backwards. This is left to right. So I go back to the beginning and pick another one, and and I don't, so I'll pick the symbol from that spot, but I'll just follow wherever it goes based on a natural, efficient method of stitching, and then I'll pick the next one. So I'm not just only stitching that row. That's my method of picking a symbol, not my method of stitching, if that makes any sense. But I will hopefully do a Stitch With Me the next time my husband goes out, meeting with a friend for lunch. It's really the only time I have alone down in my stitching chair. And that only happens once a month at the most, sometimes less. So with our COVID quarantine this past month, I don't know when the next one will be. So hopefully soon, but you never know. So I will try to make a video that kind of explains it a little bit more and visualizes it for you guys. So, all right, so regular stitching. I've been following, I have quite a few different groups that I'm doing. I have there's a closed Facebook group, Daily 30, where I'm doing just the year-long challenge, where I have 3 specific projects that I am doing various projects on, or progress on, throughout the month. And one of those is Knitting Woman. One of those is my Hummingbird. And another one is Sampler of Stitches, which I will show later because it's coming out this coming week. Those are ones I'll regularly get time on every month. So I figured they were good ones to choose for this year-long challenge. The other one I'm working on at the moment is Stitch Into the Wild, which has monthly challenges, many of which have a specific prompt associated with them, and they're to find animals. So some of the prompts are just whatever whip you want, but a lot of the prompts have a specific thing to look for in your in your designs. So I have written down here the ones for February. We're in the coral reef now, so like the dugong. It's like a sea cow, and so we had to work on something with either cow, grass, or green stitches. So I worked on Winter Montage, the green stitches, last week. So it's things like that. So I've already decided what I'm going to work on in February, but then within those chosen projects, I'm plugging them into that Stitch Into the Wild prompts. And then this month, I'm also plugging them into the Winter Olympics challenges. And these go through the 20th, which will be Sunday. So after this week, this will be over. But so far, it's been fun to kind of coordinate the things I was already planning to work on and just plug them in on these specific days. So the first 2 days that I did this week, let's see, the 7th and the 8th, something with an animal and something that contains something round. So I worked on Bear Time Stories, which is a project that was called for WhipGo, which is another challenge group, but that one, it picks two numbers every month, and I have 2 boards, so 2 full coverage pieces and 2 fancy lady pieces. And this is one of my WhipGo full coverage pieces. Got some animals in there, and then it has round marbles, and the cookie's round, and his face features are round, so there was a few round things. So I have my goal for WhipGo is 1,000 stitches in the month that it's called, ideally. And I had this set for 2 days in the Olympics challenge and another bonus day at the end of the month to make sure I had enough time to get 1,000 stitches. But I got all of 1,000 on these 2 days, plus a tiny bit more on the 3rd day because I was so close. I think I was like 24 stitches short of 1,000. So I went ahead and just did a little bit more the 3rd day before I got started on my other things to finish my 1,000 stitch challenge. So then my bonus day, the end of February, I can plug in a different piece. So that's nice because February is short. So I want to make sure I get time to work on everything that I want to. So that was ideal. Let's see, where is this one? This one's small. It gets lost. Here it is. This is on 40 count. 40 count Verdal even weave. 1/1 full half crosses. So it's tiny. This is the whole size of the design. It's pretty much square. I did 1 color, maybe 2, Extreme Cross Country, and now I have several other colors that are just partially completed because I kind of focus in on specific areas. So if you'll notice, I did a little bit of black up in their features. I focused on a little bit of one of the reddish brown colors up here too to give his snout some more definition. And then I worked on these round marbles for the round day in the Olympics challenge, which gave me some colors that I also used in his eyes and the top of the dragon's head, and a little bit more here in the cookie book area. So it's fun to kind of see the shapes come out a little bit more. So there's still a whole lot to go on this one, but it is fun to work on whenever I pull it out. So this got a total of 1,045 stitches. So this completes my WhipGo goal on it. Then my next 2 days were something that's part of a series or chart and something related to nature. So for that, I've pulled out my colors of the seasons because it's got 4 parts to this pattern, and she's playing in the snow, the winter. They've all got something nature related in them, but specifically I'm working in winter right now. She's playing in the snow. So that worked for that. And this one, I also think I have another day at the end of the month as well. yeah, to try to get it finished. But I didn't get as much done on this as I had been hoping. So even one more day on it is not going to finish the winter section. So I may have to keep, pull it out again in March to get it done. Because February is just so short that I don't have any room to put it in anymore. So this is the same 27 count Linda in Vintage Country Mocha that I'm doing my Wander With Me temperature piece, only this is 2/2. And I found an error. I'm so sad. So first I'll show you, I did mostly green. As you can see, I don't think I did anything else. I did almost all the green. So there's still one more shade of green in here, but I did two shades of green in her dress. So when I finished the word winter, because that's what I started with first, because I had winter partially done, I noticed there was a big gap right here compared to what I expected to find. I think it should have been at least 2 stitches less, maybe even 6 stitches less. I was kind of surprised, so I counted. I purposefully moved these hearts in 4 stitches so that they wouldn't touch, because normally they're right at the edge of the pattern, and if I'm shoving these patterns together 100%, the snow wouldn't touch necessarily, but the hearts would touch. So I bumped them in 4 spaces, which I did. And then when I counted to start this snow, it was like here, and it should have been like here. So this snow got started really far off from where it was supposed to be. I'm not really sure. So technically, this whole thing is wrong. I'm not taking it out. But I will probably restitch this heart to move the heart over, because when I do this heart, it's going to look lopsided, and I don't really want to take out the whole word winter either. So I think I'm just going to move the heart over. There will be a bigger gap in between than anticipated. I'll have a smaller margin over here, but I'll still have enough. So silly. I don't usually do stuff like that. But I am human. Made a mistake. So I'll probably be redoing that heart. That seems to be the least amount of ripping out that I'll have to do to make it look symmetrical again. So that's the plan, but not right now. I'll probably wait until I get more done of the picture so that I can see exactly where I need the heart to be to make it right, just so I don't have to do it again. So that was 2 days on that, and it not great amounts of time, but it is what it is. So still got some time. And then I did a little bit on His Name is Jesus again this week, which is when I work on when I talk with Desiree, the Addicted Stitcher, and this is a fun one to work on. And I'm still working in the red in the middle. This is 28 count ivory, 1/1 full crosses in 3 different shades of Victorian Motto, sampler shop threads, and I think I had a tiny bit of my last string from last week, and then I did a whole nother string. So I finished the curl on his and then started this sweeping curl of Jesus. So I'll finish the word Jesus and have this whole center section done, and then I'll continue around with the smaller ones. So this is fun. Get a little bit done on that roughly every 2 weeks. And Friday, I worked on By the Window in the morning. So the next Olympics pieces were something from a pair of designers and something with 2 or 4 people. So this one I made work for both of those things. This is my anniversary piece called By the Window in the Morning by Soda Stitch. And I believe Soda Stitch is one person designer, but I have made lots of modifications to this to make it work for my anniversary sampler. So I am the second designer. And then it's got 2 people. So it worked for both of those prompts. And I am so excited with what I was able to get done on this one. There have been so many times last year that I would pull it out for a day and get hardly anything done on it because I kept fritzing around with my conversion. So it was nice to just make some progress this time. So this is on 18 count Devosa, I believe, which is an even weave, 2/1 full crosses. And I'm so excited with what I was able to get done. If you can see, I started out with the lamp, and the first day I got the whole lamp finished and backstitched, which is cool. And when I had a color, there's a light yellow in there, or white and light yellow and light green and dark green, and then there's 2 other yellows down here. When I would finish that color in this area, if I still had string left, I'd do some in the book or some in the pillow or her shorts. So there were other places that I would continue on rather than just tying off and being done with it. So a lot of other things in here have been moved along as well. And then the second day I worked on it, finished up his shirt and the book, and then was able to backstitch that area as well. So that's exciting. I'm really enjoying this, and I changed this to a night scene. I've changed a few colors. Most of them are as called for. These yellows along here were bright orange and bright yellow, like almost neon, and I didn't think that was necessary, so I toned that down. And then the couch is going to be more of a beige couch, not a pink couch. We've had a couple different tan couches, so I figured it would work. I think the colors I've chosen will be okay on this fabric, and because it's backstitched, I think it'll work as well. And it'll be more of a fade into the background thing like the curtains, even though it will be stitched. So I think it'll be okay. And there might have been 1 or 2. I think her hair color, one of the colors I changed, because it was going to be like this pale yellow was going to be this color, and I felt like it needed a tanner color than yellow in there. So I'm excited. So next time I work on this in March, I'm going to try to give it 3 days. April, I'm going to give it 4 days. I'm going to just keep moving along and trying to get this done by August. That's the goal for our 20th wedding anniversary. I'm planning to put in the quote by Ernest Hemingway. Why I made it a night scene. The quote is, "We would be together and have our books, and at night be warm in our bed together with the windows open and the stars bright." And then I'll also have our anniversary information on there. So, because in the summertime, that's what we do. We like to read before bed, and the window's usually open. So it's like, hey, that's perfect. So that quote is used on a Lindy Stitches chart, which I liked the quote, but not necessarily the chart. So I figured when I found this, I went searching for a chart that would work to go with that quote, and I think this would be a nice fit. So that was 2 days on that one. Super excited with how far I got on that. And then yesterday, on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, I worked on Teresa Wentzler's Dragon Ride. The Olympics challenge for this was skeleton, something with Halloween or a dark theme. So I figured, well, just pretend he's either a mean dragon to some people, or maybe they're going to a costume party. Have kind of a Halloween theme. So this is the closest thing I had within my February projects that I'd chosen. So this was nice to get a day on this for my son. I'm working on this for my son. And what was I going to say? During the Super Bowl, I worked on my Wander With Me paw first to get that finished. And then I worked on this off and on throughout the Super Bowl. I kept getting up to like fix food and, you know, different things. We weren't able to have anybody over because some of my kids are still worse. My middle son is still sick, and yeah, so we had plans for people to come over, but it ended up being just us. But we still had all the yummy food that goes with the Super Bowl party. So that was fun. But I managed to get about 2 hours on this. I did a tiny bit after the Super Bowl as well. So this is where I got to. Mostly, I was thinking about doing border, because generally you think border is going to be easy, so that could be a nice thing to work on while watching a game, but no. Too many quarter stitches up here to like count to. So I decided no. I decided to fill in some areas where I already had stitches around it, so it'd be easier just to fill in and like look up and fill in and look up. And so that's what I did instead. I don't think I said this is 28 count even weave in light blue by MCG Textiles. Used to be at Hobby Lobby. It is even. Not all of their stuff is even. But I actually really like this. It feels a lot like Monaco. So I had a dark blue on my thread, so that came down here. Then I had some of it in the legs and the neck. And then I got the yellow on my needle for the border, this color. And then I decided, no, that's not working. So I came over here and filled in these pinions with that yellow and a little bit down here as well. So that looks a little more full now. So I think next time I pull this out, I might keep working here in this wing because this is really cool. Once I get that yellow finished in here, I can go back and finish these blue bits. And I might have to do a little bit more around it as well, but this could be fun area to get backstitched. Like I have his head is backstitched. It just looks complete and really cool. When you have so many fractional stitches, the backstitching really is fun to do. So that's where I got on that one. So a decent amount of progress compared to sometimes when I pull this out. So not too shabby. And I think that's it. So everything else is what I'm going to be working on, which is a lot. So plans coming up. I have a whole nother week of the last few prompts on the Winter Olympics. This is hosted on Instagram by the Naptime Stitcher and with this hashtag, and you can jump in at any time. And so I have actually been posting daily because of this. Normally I'm really bad at posting on Instagram, and I can only post if I'm like starting something or finish something. But I've been doing this and posting every day, so that's been fun. And the next two are your choice and something with a border. So these I'm going to work on Lady of the Mist by Mirabilia, and this was one of my Whipco draws on my Fancy Lady Whipco board, and has a border, and I'm actually working in the border, so that works perfectly for that day, and it's your choice, so it fits in there. My goal on my Fancy Lady Whipco board is 3 days in the month that it's called, so I need one more day. I wasn't able to work on it 3 days in a row because the day before was the Halloween theme and the day after was a house or a building, and I couldn't shoehorn this into either one of those. So I'm giving it a bonus day at the end of the month to do my 3rd day. So I'll just get 2 of the days. You'll see it again a little bit later. This is on something pretty. Do I have it in here? This is on Color and Cotton Light Denim, 32 count Belfast. And it's pretty. I haven't worked on this since Mirabilia May, this past year. So I just got like 2 or 3 days on it then. So just a small start, and I wanted to get some of those border colors in. This one calls for some DMC variegateds. And I think, yeah, I got a different one for the brown because it was sold out at my Joann's, but those pinks are called for 4180 and 4210. They're in the roses. So I thought I wanted to try those to see what that looked like. And this top one is an Adobe Adventure by Victoria and Motto. It was close to the DMC variegated, but since it was sold out, I figured I'll just go ahead. And it was sold out on 123 Stitch as well. I was like, I'll just pick something from my stash. So since it's a border color, it does not appear anywhere else. I figured it was fine. The color will change slower than the DMC would, but it will have a similar tone. So I'll continue to work in the flowers and the border. And if, I'm not sure. If I work across and come down to this flower, I could get to her head, but I don't know that I'll make it that far. I might just work my way across to at least start this corner so I can, you know, start working from the top down, because that's what I like to do. So I'll give this 2 days this week with promise of 1 more day next week. Next Saturday, it looks like I'll work on this again. Which having a Saturday on it will help, because sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays I don't get a lot of stitching time. So I'm hoping to get something the next 2 days on this, and then another big nice chunk next Saturday. So the next one, house or building, was the Olympics challenge, and of my pieces that I had pulled that I wanted to work on in February, there really wasn't anything of my regular pieces that had a house or building, but one of these winter pieces that I have, since it's technically still winter, I figured, well, that has a house. So I went ahead and I'm going to pull out my chatelaine for 1 day, which is the Winter Wonderland band sampler. Not one of the common ones you see, but I like this style better than a mandala, because then you don't have to do multiple sections over and over again. But it has 2 houses on here, so I thought that worked. Right now I'm currently working down here in these little animals that are 1/1, and everything else is completely finished. So we'll get some work in here. Not sure exactly what I'll work on. I'll have to wait and see what it looks like. Here it is. This is on Ice Blue Lugana 32 count with the called for everything. Mostly DMC, but it does have the green Gloriana, and it has, like, this is a dinky dyes silk in here. The white is silk lame braid, which is a little bit sparkly. And there's some beads in there, which the beads are already in. Oh yeah, you can get some shiny there. I changed the top to be a Bible verse. He gives wool like snow. Instead of the words, they had my garden is my winter wonderland, because I live in Southern California. We don't get a lot of snow here. So I changed that. I changed it to 2017 is when I started it. Maybe at the bottom there'll be a place to put in a date for where I finished it, but we'll see. So I'm in here. I've got the deer completely finished. So I might go over here, since this is also, you know, pretty high on up. I might work on that. I think it's a bird. That's what that's supposed to be. There's some start of some squirrels here. I could continue the borders down, you know, so there's a few things. I've been working this completely from the top down. So till about here, it's completely finished. And then the rest of this is like partially done. So I'll get that close up for before and after for next time. So it's only 1 day, so we'll see. Yeah, that little bird over there maybe is likely. I mean, I could finish the squirrels because they're like mostly closer to being done than the bird, but we'll see. We'll see what I do. Maybe I'll have a lot of time and I can work on the bird and the squirrels. So we'll see. I think I said that already. The next day, I was going to do Amazing Grace 2 days in a row, because the next 2 Olympic prompts are something with words and something with flowers. So this is my rechart of the My Big Toe Designs Amazing Grace. And I'm redoing it to be backstitched words and only 3 motifs instead of the whole enormous design. And so this works for both of those prompts. However, on Friday, the 18th, is Julie from Stitching in the Cabin. It's her birthday, and she's going to be starting Twisted Band Sampler. I have Twisted Band Sampler, so I thought I should work on my Twisted Band Sampler when she's starting hers. So I decided I'll just work on Amazing Grace for the first day, the prompt with words for the Olympics challenge, and then Amazing Grace will also come out for its second day on the day that my Bear Time Stories was going to have its 3rd bonus day, because I finished my 1,000 stitch goal. So that'll come out again next Sunday, the 27th, so later in the month, if that made any sense at all. Here is my starting point on my version of Amazing Grace. It's very small. It's 1/1 on 28 count ivory Jobelin. It's itty bitty. So cute. And so I'm going to be hopefully finishing this verse and finishing this pot here in the month of February. I may not get all of that done this first day, but I have this day and one more day later in the month that I can have that be my goal. And if I have more time, I'll just keep going. Because if I finish this early, I can gift it early. This is going to be a gift. So I was realizing I have quite a few pieces right now that I am seeking to finish in this year, which is a little bit unusual for me. So I might actually have some finishes this year. Like, I hope I will. So I was kind of surprised. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to finish that and that and that and that, which is a little bit unusual. So it's kind of, it's just different. It's a fun change. So my next one will be Twist a Band Sampler by the Northern Expressions Needleworks. You can, I have the paper version, but you can buy this on their website, their Etsy page as a PDF. This version is half cross stitches and half specialty stitches. So if it works in Pattern Keeper, none of the specialty stitches will show up because backstitching lines don't work in Pattern Keeper. But if you get any of their designs that are cross stitch only versions, they would probably, I would imagine, possibly work in Pattern Keeper. But I have the specialty stitch version because I'm a sucker for specialty stitches. I'm doing the DMC version of the floss. They have like Dinky Dyes, Veriswa, and DMC. I'm using the called for fabric, but and they're with their DMC suggestions. So this is what this looks like, and this is 32 count bisque linen by Lakeside Linens. So super exciting. I hadn't really remembered, but I have turned the corner there at the top, which is fun. And I've finished these specialty stitch bands, so I am working on a cross stitch band right now. So that's what I'll be working on for Julie's birthday. See what kind of progress I can get on that cross stitch band, which are not as fun for me as the specialty stitch bands, but they've got to be done and it looks beautiful together. So I will work on that and see if I can get at least that one color finished. There's usually, like you can see here on the orange and the pink, there's 2 colors in each cross stitch band. So there's this color and likely another color in there as well. That's this band right here. So it's going to go into the more darker gold after this. So that'll be fun. And then Sampler of Stitches. The last 2 prompts for the Winter Olympics are stitch toward your goal on a piece of your choice, which has to do with hockey, and then stitch on something you plan to complete in 2022, which I plan to complete it. This is one of those pieces that ideally it would be nice to finish it this year. That's kind of my original plan. I haven't been very good at sticking with my plan, but that's my plan. So I'd like to finish this year and stay up with it to get roughly 1 letter every 2 weeks. So far I'm behind, but I want to do better in coming months to give this some solid time, like on the weekends, to kind of move it along. So I'm currently on the B section. So my goal for the first one would be to finish the letter B. But ideally in these next 2 days, which are the only 2 days in February I was able to fit this in, I'd like to get B and C finished. So maybe that can be my goal too. But since the first day's prompt is goal, I'll have that goal be finishing the B and then starting the C and hopefully finishing the C during the second day. And those are a Saturday and Sunday. So I should get some extra stitching time. So it could be really cool to go over and start working on the D as well, but we'll see. So here is the bigger picture of A, B, and C. I have most of B finished, but I still need to do more in the basket. I may need to finish the B as well, and then this strip down here. And then obviously I don't have any of the C done. And looks like D is large. So the D section is pretty big. A little E strip and a medium size F strip. So that looks fun though. So we'll see what I'm able to do on these 2 days. Here's my starting point. This is on called for custard cream, 30 count custard cream, linen, and this is my starting point. I'm using the called for MPI silks, 1 strand for most of this, so it is fairly light coverage, and it makes it more muted, which is a little bit different for me, but it's been fun. So yeah, I have to finish the bee, finish the flowers in the basket, which also includes some beads, and then there's a strip of specialty stitches right here, and then I can move into the C. So there's not, I've got most of the B strip finished, so I should be able to get into the C on that first day, and hopefully at least finish the C on the second day, and if all goes well, maybe get a start on D. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. And that will conclude the Olympics challenge, which has been fun. So thank you, Naptime Stitcher, for putting that on. It was a nice ease out of Bringo that I did in January, which was randomly chosen projects throughout the month. I knew what I was working on, but I had no idea what days. And going cold turkey into only picking what I work on which days all by myself. It's like, oh, that's kind of a letdown. So then when this Winter Olympics came along, I'm like, oh, well, that's nice, because I had things to be shooting for, but I could still plan it myself, but it was a little bit more scattered maybe than I might normally do, but it was fun to kind of go along with the prompts, so I enjoyed that. So next week will be, I'm going to work on my letter F fairy for a couple days. I'll work on my Whip Go full coverage piece for 3 days, and then that I haven't, Bear Time Stories was 1. I also have Love Letter, so I'm going to give that 3 days. And then Lady of the Mist for its bonus day, Amazing Grace for a bonus day, Colors of the Seasons for a bonus day. So pretty much like I did with Bringo, when the Olympics challenge is finished, the rest of the month is like finishing goals and things that I want to try to get accomplished in the month of February. So that's good. And I think that's everything I have to share with you. Smokey is still here, sleeping away, not affected by us at all. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy your week of cross stitching, and go over to Sarah King, Our Stitching Kingdom, and give her a follow, subscribe, to try to get her up to past the 1,000 subscriber mark by her birthday on the 24th. So that would be fun. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week, and happy stitching. Bye.